Now, I was told that the Blue Jays were like gum on your shoe. What happened?
Well, first of all, you say Kikuchi just has the Yankees by the dick every time he pitches against them. It doesn't matter. Like he's legit good now. Like he wasn't always good, but it doesn't matter how good he is or isn't. He just has the Yankees by the dick, and it's really frustrating to watch every time because you know exactly what's about to happen, and it's like I know the man's good, but he ain't this good, right? Every time, but like not once can we get something going against him? Not once. I,
He, he was throwing like not like 98, 99 on some of those
bro,
strikeouts, which I didn't know he had.
uh, same, same. Like he blew Soto away with 98 in the first inning. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a long night. Like I knew exactly what the first inning when he struck out the side. Like, yeah, it's gonna be a long evening. They're not gonna touch this dude, and they largely didn't. So yeah, I mean, you're gonna lose series every now and again. Losing to those dudes sticks for a lot of obvious reasons. One, they're in the division. Two, I don't take them seriously. Three, I just don't like to see them win because I think they're a bunch of fucking losers. It stinks. So I prefer that the Yankees just not do this again, especially to those dudes. But it is what it is. They're what 12-5, 12-6, whatever the record is at this point. They'll be all right. Get the last one and then come back to the crib.
He's pitched 11 and a third, 8 hits, 1 earned run, 16 Ks in 2 games against the Yankees, one in New York, one in Toronto. Blue Jays have won both of those games. He only got a decision in one of them. Yeah, I didn't, of all the people I thought were going to shut down this lineup, I didn't think it was Dr. Sleep who was going to be just absolutely
Listen,
shoving.
to show you where we're at with Kikuchi and the Yankees, you read off his stats and it said 11 innings, 8 hits. I was like, eight? It feels lower than that. It felt. I watched the home opener. It did, bro. The Yankees never came close to scoring that entire afternoon. It didn't matter if he was pitching. Who like they didn't get a runner to third base for 9 innings. That is a really difficult feat. So when you said 8 hits, it was like, wow, that's way more than I thought. I thought you were gonna tell me like four. That's how I felt watching him live. Well, the first game and then watching it yesterday.
It's Wednesday afternoon. The Yankees still hold first place by a half game over the Baltimore Orioles. The whole AL East is pretty much neck and neck. The Red Sox sitting last at 9-9, which is the way they got to 9-9 is infuriating because they could probably be, I don't know, like realistically, I'm not even trying to be like you could win every game. They
They
probably
could
like
like
16
12
and
and 6.
2. Like
16.
16 and 2.
All right. All right.
What games have they lost where it
All
wasn't their fault? That's more the thing I'm saying.
that's baseball. But yeah.
It's not. It's not. Some days you just get beat. Like we got beat by we lost 7-0 the Corbin
Mm,
Burns Orioles game. We didn't beat ourselves that game. The Orioles bludgeoned us.
right.
Every other game they played in that series, the Red Sox just said, "Hey, you know what? We're all set. You can have it." Like I don't that those are different ways to lose games. Not all losses are built the same.
Listen, I watched one Red Sox game from beginning to end, and it was their home opener. Um,
Yeah, it was a Burns game.
right, bro. Every game, just on Twitter, I don't even need to follow it. Every game, some clips come down the timeline with the Red Sox kicking the fucking ball all over the place, and it's like, oh my god, and the Yankees' infield defense is shaky, like
Yeah.
really shaky. So I can relate to a degree, but not quite this degree. They kicking balls out in the outfield. They can't get them in. They can't get them to the cutoff man. It's wild to me.
The cutoff, the Red Sox haven't hit a cutoff man since the late 90s. I don't remember the last time we utilized, like Hunter Renfro was like, look at how far I can throw this shit. And it would just be like, yeah, thanks. We'll take third for free because you just chuck it off the backstop for a runner you never were going to get. And that's just continued on. Um, Willie Abreu has like if it's hitting the air, he's going to catch it, and it's going to be an insane catch. If it hits the ground at all,
He's done for.
I don't.
He's
He just
cooked.
has no idea what to do in that scenario. Like not a clue what to do under those circumstances, and it's like I've never seen anything like it. Um, yeah, it's just like they've reinvented ways. David Hamilton, it seems like the more difficult the play, the more likely it is he and Emmanuel Valdez are to making it. But if it's hit kind of like right at them, good fucking luck. Like they've got no shot. And I'm not talking like rockets either. I'm talking like the ball just happens to be hit in their direction. No chance. Um, the starters continue to be, I can't call it the best rotation in baseball for a lot of reasons, but they show up every day. They don't really give up any runs, and then they dip out after like four and a third, which is why I can't
Yeah,
call them the
yeah,
best rotate. Like people have pointed to the bullpen ERA, which last I checked was 15th. It's probably 16th or 17th now. And yeah, they're overtaxed. They're already overtaxed, and that's what happens when you don't sign actual starting pitching. And Hauk hasn't been the issue. He's been great. Whitlock last night left with an oblique strain. That could be anything. He didn't look super impressive really before that, anyways. He was fine. Like, he really only had one bad inning, but nothing where I'm like, holy shit, look at how he's carving up this vaunted Cleveland Guardians lineup. That wasn't what I was thinking either. Like, he was just fine. Bayo continues to be fine. I think he's the highest ERA of any starter. It's probably somewhere in the threes, but he's been really good. Um, who else is on this goddamn team?
Cutter
Uh,
Crawford.
yeah, Cutter Crawford, another guy. He'll give you five dice K ass innings where he's going to get guys on base and he's going to get out of it. He's not going to give up any of those runs, but if he could just stop get letting guys get on base, he's going 6, 7 innings easy. Like he's facing that amount of batters. It's not even necessarily how many turns through the order. He's not giving up hard contact. It's just walking guys and just these fucking defense again not helping at all. Little dribblers getting through shit like that. But some of it is on him. Like, don't walk Anthony Rendon. Don't walk like obviously bad players. Like, save
Whoa, whoa,
yourself.
whoa, 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 whoa! Anthony Rendon's not a bad player. Let's not
He
do this.
is.
His love for baseball is reborn now that they hired Ron Washington, and Ron is whispering sweet nothings in his ear before games now.
Mike
Let's
Trout.
respect Anthony Rendon a little bit.
Mike Trout still hasn't driven him in since he
My,
got there.
I
Not this
was
season.
I was about to ask you what the time frame on this is,
Since he
because
got there.
if it's this year, I mean, you're definitely correct. If I mean,
Ever.
I think Rendon's. I want to say Rendon's drove in like one run. I don't. I can't remember what the deal is
It was
with him,
probably
but
against us.
he's been good. He's been
No, he
good the last
hasn't.
couple of weeks. The last couple of weeks he has been. He legit has
He's
been.
played us. Like that doesn't count. I'm talking about against the rest of the league. He's not the thing.
Against the best pitching staff in baseball. It doesn't count. What you
It
mean?
is 74 OPS plus. I don't know what good
I said
means in New York.
I said the last week and a half or 2 weeks or so. The first week was miserable. He went old for the fucking world. He's been fine the last couple weeks. Good is probably a stretch though. I'll walk that back. He's been fine. Let me walk good back. He's been fine the last couple of weeks.
I'm going to have to. They 1 RBI, eight
I mean, it's
runs
not his
scored.
fault they batting whoever the fuck ninth. I think he's batting first for them. It's not his
He
fault.
is. He's leading off
Yeah, it's not his fault they batted whoever the
because
fuck
he
they
wants to sit down quicker. He doesn't want to wait. He's like, when? How quickly can I be back on the pine?
Are we gonna fault him for this?
That's not a guy you can walk. You can't walk that guy. It's not a guy I'm
We've been
allowing you
walking
to
though,
walk.
so we've been taking his
34-year-old
walks.
Tony Rendon, who doesn't even want to be out there. That's the guy you walk. Disgraceful. Um, a lot of people are mad at Kenley, and they've been mad at him all year. He's been fine up until last night, where he genuinely blew the game on his own, and they would have again lost that game in regulation if Willie Abreu didn't make an insane catch because the ball was hitting the air, not on the ground. So he got bailed out of like outright losing the game. He just gets the blown save. But even last night, like the Red Sox have a 5 run, what was it, sixth or seventh to take the lead. This is a game where Tristan Casas gets picked off trying to steal third while the pitcher's still holding the ball. Like, this is not prime Ricky Henderson. This is Tristan Casas, who respectfully should never be trying to steal any bases
I
ever.
don't know, man. I feel like and this is directly related to this topic, but there are so many. I don't even watch that much baseball. Like I watch primarily the Yankees,
Sure.
and I feel like there are so many fucking base running errors, even in the games that I watch, and it's like,
Yeah.
guys, Tristan Casas, bro, really good hitter, fantastic hitter, not fleet of foot for one. For two, I want to say that was the first out of the inning, correct?
Yeah, he was on. So he had a leadoff double.
He had a lead up and he
Uh,
got picked off. Like, for what? I watched Trent Grisham the other day. The Yankees were trailing 3-1 in the sixth. Anthony Volpe and Juan Soto are coming up. He tries to steal second. He gets thrown out. Why? And there was nobody out. Why? Why? If there was two outs, all right, I can at least squint hard enough to understand your point, brother. The two of the hottest hitters in baseball are behind you. You're trailing. It's not like you're up 3-1. Do whatever the fuck you want at that point. You are trailing. Why are you trying to steal second base? What is the benefit to you?
like, what's weird is I think Casas would have been safe, but he overslid the bag because Jose Ramirez, it was like a
That was my
foot rate.
thought too.
Yeah,
Um,
like I genuinely
that's
think he got there safe, but it wasn't worth the
right.
risk.
That's
Like,
that's the problem. You like if you're gonna do that, you better be fucking sure you're going to make it. If you're gonna
yeah,
do that, and then if you don't make it, everybody's gonna look at you crazy because it is crazy.
best case scenario, you're still in scoring position. Like second base, very much considered scoring position. Again, I know he's not a speed demon. I understand the Red
Bro,
Sox
two
haven't been
outs can score you.
right.
Two
Uh,
outs can score you. Like you don't
and,
need to do this.
and like the next guy comes up, maybe it's a pop fly to left field, and you can't even advance there. I get that, but again, like Jose, like if this were like old shifting rules, and by old I mean like 3 years ago, and
Mhm.
Jose Ramirez was like playing, like holding the bag for you, and because there was a lefty up and everyone else was on the other side of the field, I understand that more.
Right.
But he was just playing like pretty normal third base, a little off the bag. Uh, and yeah, he had a much shorter run. He didn't get like a great jump where he was just like Duran when he could have touched home that opening series. It wasn't like that at all. He was just like, let me go swipe third. Didn't get there. Again, Abreu kicks that ball in right field. That allows a run to score. Almost threw out the guy at home. Connor Wong clearly never made the tag, but the review couldn't show that, so they called catcher's interference, which has become the worst rule in the sport,
Bro,
I would say.
bro. I saw that you know how bad that rule is. I saw that play and I was way more mad at the rule than at the Red Sox getting clowned for something. That's how
Sure.
bad that fucking rule is. Because it's like Connor Wong, the path of the him catching the ball took him to the front of the plate. What exactly did you want him to do? I don't like. What did you want him to do? Just stop? Did you want him to? You just wanted him to move out of the way of the baseball. What exactly did you want him to do? And on top of that, I could dislike a rule and at least understand, okay, it was put in place for this reason to prevent
Right.
this. What is this rule? What is this rule enhancing or preventing?
What I would say, and I don't like taking the umpire sides in anything here. One, I think they just realized Wong clearly didn't tag him, so they were like, we can't reverse it based on that because it doesn't really show that. Like, there's no angle that proves he didn't tag him. But we think that's what happened. We know that's what happened, so we're going to call him safe. Two, if they really wanted to say it, after Wong catches the ball, it does look like he tries to trip. I can't even remember who was running. It does look like he tries to, after he already has the ball, like extend his leg a little to try and trip him so he could tag him.
I
So that's where it's like, yeah, it's a little ticky tacky, but also just tag him. Don't kick him. Like just tag him. You already have the ball. Just tag the
right,
man
just
with the
tag him. Right.
ball.
Yeah. If he tries,
Uh,
if it was plausible that he tried to trip him, I'll walk back my harsh sentiments. But
no, I mean
in
it's a
general,
bad
the rule
rule. It's
still stinks. Like the
for
rule
sure a
still
bad
fucking stinks,
rule.
though.
Wong's quietly, honestly, both of our catches have been quietly raking, and it stands out a lot because no one else other than Casas is raking. Or Duran, shout out Duran. Uh, but Wong's rocking a 340, or excuse me, a 355, higher batting average than on base percentage. 355,
Nice.
344, 581. 924 OPS, 158 OPS plus. Now he's been the backup catcher, but still, let's play 10 games, 31 at bats. You can't really ask for much more out of your backup catcher than what he's given you. Um, but yeah, the rest of the offense, Von Grissom's been rehabbing. He sounds like he's on track. He's been mostly DHing for the Woo Sox. I don't know if they are just like, yeah, your defense, no matter what, is going to be better than whatever the fuck we've been trotting out there. So we're not too worried about it. We just want to make sure you're healthy once you get to the big leagues. So that's one and really the only thing we have to look forward to. The rest of the team's just been again, they're 9-9. I think if you told most Red Sox fans you'll be 9-9 after the first 18, they'd go, "Yeah, I mean that they feel like a 500 team. That makes sense." The way in which they got to 9-9, infuriating. Just genuinely not that enjoyable to watch.
What's going on with Devers? Is he okay?
No, that's the other thing. All of our players just keep dying. Like Devers and Tyler O'Neill collide. People are mad at Devers because that's the shortstop's ball. The only game, if my memory serves correctly, where Rafaela was playing short. So a lot of people saying that's the shortstop's ball. Well, which fucking is it? Do you want Devers to be going all out and playing defense, a thing we know he cannot do? Or do you want the rookie shortstop who's never played there at this level to call off the veteran leader of your team and the left fielder in his first game playing shortstop? Devers makes the catch. I don't know how. Tyler O'Neill got stitches over his eye, so they're not even ILing him. They're just giving him a couple of days for the feeling to be restored to his face. And then Devers, I think it was leg the reason he came out last night. Let me see.
I want to say it was his knee, right? It was his
Yeah, it
knee.
was. Let's see. What was the
I don't remember
official?
which knee. I think it was his knee.
Rafael Devers felt something in his knee playing in the field in the seventh inning. Red Sox are discussing whether to do imaging. That was 14 hours ago. Is there anything else since then? Doesn't look like it. No. Yeah, so that was fun. It seems like he hurt his shoulder hitting that home run against Seattle in the opening. I don't want to say that's what hurt, but after he did that, he got all these shoulder issues. And then he tweaks his knee, hitting an absolute rocket of a bases clearing double, which gave them the lead. Not great. And that might be correlation isn't always causation, but the two times he's made the hardest contact this year immediately hurt, which I don't love.
That's not ideal. As much as Rafael Devers gives me nightmares, it's just better. I mean, it's better when everybody's healthy, but it's better when players like that are healthy. It sucks. Hopefully, it's not anything serious, but it does also. Him getting hurt immediately after he gets two rockets is quite the tale.
Yeah, I don't much care for it. People have been down on Devers, pointing to his contract and shit. I have no time for these fans at all, like none. I believe he leads the majors in extra base hits since 2018. This isn't like some flash in the pan. He had one good season, he got paid. Like, this is genuinely one of the best power bats in baseball. He cannot field. We know this. And his fielding gets exacerbated when his best friend, who used to play right next to him and helped him out a ton, plays for the Padres now. Like that, if you wanted Devers to be here long term, maybe that should have been part of your prioritization as well. Keep his friend, who gets him out of his ruts defensively, on the team. Seems simple enough to me. Now your left side of the infield is as bad as it's ever been in my life, like truly the worst it's ever been. And we're paying what might now be $500 million for two guys on the IL for an extended period of time. Dumb, dumb, bad business.
Ah man, that that's tough.
You seem real caught up, bent out of shape about it.
That's tough. No, I don't even know what to add. That sounds sad, man. That sounds sad.
It's like it was all very avoidable, and I've had people come at me recently for stuff I've said on Section 10 where I'm like, I don't give a fuck about lefty righty. Like I just don't. I'll never win
Same, bro. Same.
ever.
You preach it.
People
Same.
people point to like, oh, we are too lefty heavy. No, we're not. We have a lot of bad hitters. That's the issue. That's a much larger issue.
Yeah, amen, amen.
I, and
The,
all off season, who were the you were me and you were the ones talking about it. Who did I ask for repeatedly? Reese Hoskins, Matt Chapman. Reese Hoskins, Matt Chapman. Did we sign either of them?
no,
No. So if people want to come in my mentions and talk about, oh well, we need a righty bat, that's all I said all off season. All I said, even on Twitter, was, hey, I understand we need starting pitching. We need a bat just as much. We just kind of let Justin Turner walk. Didn't replace him at all. We let Adam Duvall walk. You could argue we replaced him with Tyler O'Neill, but then you also let Alex Verdugo go. So even if you don't even like him that much, which I know you don't, but even if you're just looking at it Billy Bean style, we need to replace these players for just to get the same amount of production. They didn't do that. They kind of just, again, sold you Willie Abreu, who's looked better. He looked like dog shit at the beginning of the year. He's looked better the last week or so. I'm not going to say he's good. I'm not going to say he's Anthony Rendon level, but he's looked better. He's looked like almost a competent MLB player over the last week. Maybe with more at bats, he'll be better, even more better. But for the people who want that righty lefty balance, he's another lefty. So which is it?
the thing with Alex Verdugo, I'll point to that to start with, is he's a perfectly replaceable. He's a perfectly replaceable level Major League Baseball player. The problem with Alex Verdugo is that he's Alex Verdugo. Like that's the problem with him. It's just that he's him.
Definitely.
That's the problem with him. But the righty lefty stuff has annoyed me for a really long time, especially in Yankee land because all we ever talk about is the 314. So it's just like, oh, we don't have lefties to attack the 314, and it's like, bro, in this iteration of the Yankees from 17 to now, the Yankees were at their best when they had a million right-handed hitters because they were good. Because
Right.
they were good. They were good hitters. Then the last couple of years, the Yankees were like, granted, Anthony Rizzo was fine process. He he got the world's strangest concussion, or at least how he got the
Very
concussion,
strange.
and he's been doo doo since. So like that's a problem. But besides that, like believing that we need lineup balance, we need contact, that we need to balance out the power and the contact is how you trade for Andrew Benintendi. He sucked here. People begged for him back because he's a left-handed contact hitter. Please tell me what he's done since he went to Chicago. Nothing. It's how you land on Alex Verdugo. Again, in a vacuum, Alex Verdugo is a perfectly middling Major League Baseball player. And realistically, if everybody remains somewhat healthy, he shouldn't be starting every day for the Yankees and let's say give it 2 months. So it's whatever. The problem is the 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 Yankees decided to zag when everybody zigs, as in everybody else is like, hey man, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go get these guys who impact baseballs. And the Yankees like, you know what, we like bloops. We like bloops. We like contact. We like, we like ground ball machines is what we like, who occasionally find a hole to get the ground balls through. And it's like, why? Just why? You traded for Andrew Benintendi. That did not work. For whatever the reason, small sample, we could do whatever we want. We could twist ourselves into a pretzel about that, right? It didn't work. Then you're like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna get Alex Verdugo, who is the same shit. It's the same shit. And here we are. And also, just an idea, Yankee. I hope somebody catches wind of this. When LeMayu comes back, just bat him and Verdugo back to back. You know why? You can't ground it to consecutive double plays.
They'll find a way.
Bruh. As a matter of fact, I totally forgot about the whole double play Verdugo grounded into Sunny. I don't know if you saw it,
No.
buddy. It's second and third, one out in the 11th, right? Let me repeat that so you understand. Second and third and
Classic double
one
play scenario.
out.
Yep.
Eggs, bruh. Somebody in one of my group chats typed no more than like 10 seconds right before that. Well, at least Alex Verdugo can't ground to a double play. Sharp ground ball to first. Homeboy throws it home. They tag the runner again. You understand how this? You understand how baseball works. For some reason, halfway between home plate and first base, Alex Verdugo looks back at the plate.
Had to.
Why? I have
Had
no
to.
fucking idea. Then he gets thrown out at first, and the play wasn't even close. So
No,
it's
I'm sure it
just
wasn't.
it
He was
wasn't
running
close.
backwards.
He was looking backwards. I'm just like, once I saw the catcher throw to first, I am confused because I'm like, why is he? There's no way he's gonna get the runner at first. Right? He got him by 3 steps. I'm like, and then Glaber bunted right before that to set this up. And I'm just this inning is my personal nightmare. Thanks, guys, appreciate it. And then they lost the game in the next half inning, so love it. Haven't won a game since. Been a long 3 days.
From the Yankee fans I follow, it sounds like Glaber's not having a great year.
He's not. The defense is always average-ish slash streaky. Like he's gonna have weeks where he looks like the worst defender on earth, and then he'll be fine like the majority of the rest of the year. When he's not hitting, obviously, then the
Yeah, it's
defense
worse.
being shit looks worse. So he's not having a good time. And the shitty part is, I mean, offensively, I think he'll come around, but like he's making the best swing decision of his career. He's just not making any good contact, which is like, fuck, man. Can we just merge both? Like hit the ball hard and make good swing decisions. The Glaber's not chasing, he's not striking out, he's walking at a career high clip, and then he's just making Andrew Benintendi level contact right now, which hurts my spirit. I wish that would stop. Hopefully, it
Yeah,
does in the near future. But people are going to be frustrated with Glaber. Yankee fans don't like Glaber. Well, a lot of them don't like Glaber at all. So it is what it is. I think they'll get their wish. I don't think he's coming back. I think if he was going to be extended, they would have extended him already, personally. And
yeah,
there hasn't been a lick of talk, like not once, like, oh, the Yankees are interested in extending it. We haven't heard that once, and they've had a long time to consider it. So
for sure.
I think he's gone after the year. Um, but yeah, it's been tough. It's been tough for him so far.
I think the weirdest person to not have extension talks between the two teams at this point has to be Duran. Um, he's been, I won't say comfortably the Red Sox best player because Casas has hit like 5 home runs in the last 7 games or something stupid like that, and now boasts like an 870 OPS, which is what he should be doing. But Duran at the top of the lineup, like he's been our most consistent bat by far this year. I mean, I said it on here. I didn't want him leading off. I wanted him more in the middle of the order. That he's made that look very dumb immediately. He's only rocking right now a 112 OPS plus, but he's just getting on base every game. I don't know how many offers he's put up. It can't possibly be a lot because it seems like even when he gets out, he's not making like super hard contact. He's only got the 1 home run, only 4 doubles. So it's been a lot of singles. It's been a lot of slaps to the other side, but that's like as traditional of a leadoff hitter as you're going to find is that. And I also want him locked up because recently, after a game, he was like, maybe I'll join the fucking Marines, which is not like I'm so tired of the U.S. military taking my players away. They've already done it with a pitcher who's out for the year. The first time he's been back on home soil, not flying fucking helicopters around the
Wait, who are you
South
speaking about?
Pacific. I'm blanking on his name because I've erased him from my memory.
Oh,
The
it's not like on the
Phillies,
current team.
huh?
It's not. It's not on the current team. Then I take it.
No, he is. He's on the IL for the year. He
Oh,
got surgery. It's how am I blanking on this? I've been talking about him for goddamn years. I'm just going to Google Red Sox pitcher Marines. Uh, boy, Noah Song.
got it.
Noah Song was our top pitching prospect while in the military. He served his time, like genuinely served. And then last year, the Phillies took him in the Rule 5 draft because Dombrowski's an asshole. And they didn't, he wasn't like, he hadn't been built up at all. So you have to carry him on your active roster. And he was just burning, not even a 40-man spot, like a 26-man spot.
Yeah.
And so if he's not on the active roster long enough, he gets returned. So he got returned. He looked decent in spring training this year because he had an actual off season. He wasn't who knows what what he was doing prior to that. And then he got shut down for the year. He had to get surgery. So he'll be back, I don't know, never. And now Duran, after a game recently, was like, it's something I've always thought about. And I don't know if that's just like the wildest contract leverage negotiation tactic I've heard since like the 1940s, but I'm done. Like, if I want the Red Sox scouting department to change one thing, It's when they interview these players, be like, "Do you have any aspirations to be in the military? If you do, you're out. You're out. You can go be the Brewers' problem. We don't give a fuck. It's
I
just not going to
mean,
be this anymore."
you are this steadfast. You are this steadfastly opposed to him trying to be the best he could be.
Yeah, yeah.
He
Catch
can't
the
be the
catch
best
the
man he could be.
routine pop flies. We can't have our armed service members making those kind of lapses in judgment either.
I mean, I feel like we need to look at the human side of the game as opposed to just these players as being what they are. If that would make him happy, I think you should support that.
I'm all set. I'm quite all set. Uh, if he does listen, if he wants to do that, why? What are you doing? Why is he here then? Like what? I know they're accepting people. All they want is more people to join the military. Like it's not. There's just such a like the season's already gone so shittily. Our lone bright spot being
Shittily
like,
is crazy. Good shit
I'm
though.
gonna go join the Marines. Like I'd rather do that than fucking
I'd rather fight for
deal
our country than play for this
deal with
baseball
this
team. It's
piece of
crazy.
shit baseball team. Like I, on one hand, I definitely get it. On the other hand, like they just can't keep getting away with this. They being the U.S. military, done with it. But yeah, Durant can't even be. I didn't realize he can't even be a free agent until 29. So there's no arbitration. Is quite.
Arbitration's a cool what 3 years away.
Well, it starts in 25, so he can't be a free agent until 29, which is chaos. So maybe they don't. He's already 27, turns 28 September. So yeah, just he'll be free for the next 4 years. What a scam.
I mean,
Yeah, I say all
maybe
that.
he'd make more there than he makes with the Red Sox. Maybe that's the problem.
Listen, if he wants a Camaro, we can get him a Camaro. We can get him that car dealership sponsorship.
But can you feel his spirit knowing that he'd be working hard for his country?
It doesn't look like it's. I don't know anyone on the Red Sox if their spirit is, is filled playing for this team. Like it genuinely doesn't seem that way.
Damn man, you make it sound so doom and gloom.
That's how they're making it seem. Like it,
Yeah.
the 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 comeback last night. It seemed like all right. The spirits are high. The last time they had played like that was the game Story got hurt, where they mounted another comeback, and Duran was a big part of that. And it was like, okay, this is what they need to snap out of whatever funk they're in. Big hit by Devers, like all the right players are doing it. Rafaela was the one who let it off, or excuse me, extended it to get to the point where they could lead. And then it just all unravels. They lose 10-7 in 11. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, this doesn't necessarily seem like a team that has a ton of confidence left in the tank. And to have it kind of start peaking back up, only to go right back down. And Devers gets hurt, and Whitlock leaves the game. Kenley does what he's been flirting with all season, which is actually blow a game, not just pretend to blow a game. Yeah, I don't know how the vibes could be any higher than in the gutter at the moment. Like it's just for a 500 team that people thought was going to be a 500 team, no one seems pumped about it.
Listen, y'all pitching staff is good. Tristan Casas is good.
It's
Jaron
great.
Duran looks good.
Casas, I can't even remember who he was saying it to, but Casas was like, "Yeah, all the guys in Double A seem to be getting fast tracked," and it's like the fans should be talking about that. And he was just responding to a question that was asked. Wasn't his fault, but it feels like a terrible look to be like, can't wait for my friends to get here. I can't keep playing with these fucking morons every day.
No, that's a great. I don't know what he was responding to where that would be relevant. So I'm not going to speak for that, obviously. But yeah, no, that's crazy. No, that's that's legit. Like looking around, like, hey man, I see the same shit y'all do. Y'all see these bozos, man. I can't wait for my friends to come over here and play with me. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Right. It wasn't like, again, someone asked him directly about everyone down there. Like, he didn't bring it up out of nowhere. And he was just responding like, yeah, they seem to be on the fast track. I very much heard it as like, can't wait for actual teammates to be here. Definitely not what he meant. But when everyone is mad at like 20 3 of the 26 players on the team. That's how it comes off a little bit. Again, that's not what he said, but how it comes off to me is like, can't wait. Can't wait for competent
Listen,
teammates.
he might not have said it that way. Hell, there's a decent chance he ain't mean it that way. But looking if the Red Sox were 9-9, if the Red Sox were 12-6, 3-game difference, nobody's saying
And I didn't ask him,
nobody's
yeah.
right. Nobody's asking whatever question led to that, and nobody if they for some reason did, nobody's taking shit from that answer because it just be like, well, it is what it is. But y'all 9-9, Devers got hurt, the morale is down. The Red Sox cannot stop kicking the baseball all over the fucking field. So here we are. You're gonna get answers like that, and you can interpret it however you want to interpret it.
No, right now, Marcelo Myers rocking an 8-game hitting streak, 344, 337, 500 slug, 871 OPS. Roman Anthony, 940 OPS. Kyle Teal, 828 OPS. So, he's not wrong. You know what I mean? And Miguel Blaze, by the way, uh, I'm shocked he only has a 663 OPS in high A Salem because including today, I know he's already scored a run. He had a bases loaded, bases clearing double last night. I know he hit a tank the other night. And shout out Christian Campbell, who also hit a ball harder the other day. And by the other day, I mean late last week, harder the other day than Tristan Casas has ever hit. So
Really
that was
interesting.
horrifying. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Christian Campbell I believe he only played 2 years because I think COVID fucked up one of his college years. But he came out of Georgia Tech and was just like 99th percentile barrel rate coming out of college. And I think it was like a 4th-round pick. He might have been the pick either for Evaldi or Xander, but he was a compensation pick in the 4th round. It's impossible to find, like, until someone hits, trying to find that information now online is impossible. But I know he was a 4th-round compensation pick. I know we finished above the tax threshold, so I know it was for one of those two players. Christian Campbell immediately. I don't know why he didn't have more buzz around him coming into this season, but since baseball games have started being played, the buzz is now there. Like MLB Pipeline doesn't have him in their top 30 right now. That'll change. I don't know how frequently they update it on the national rankings. I know Sox Prospects does it monthly, and Sox Prospects has him, I think, in the 20s, which even that feels low, quite frankly. Yeah, 22. That'll be moving up quickly.
I've never heard of him until you just said his name. So
I've tweeted about him a few times. I mean, I don't just sit there and tweet prospects all the live long day, but he's someone who caught my eye immediately, and every time he swings the bat, I'm just like, yep, he's one of them ones.
like 99% barrel rate, that gets the attention.
And yeah, that was college too. So like his write up was just like raw power. In game power plays below that because the swing doesn't generate much loft. So I don't know that he was hitting it out of the park as much as he was just drilling liners like that. I don't know. Did you see George Foster post that softball player yesterday?
Yes. Yes.
So I think that was just Christian Campbell in college, just fucking lacing the seams off of balls.
That's the kind of prospect I like. All right, yeah, he has this massive 70 grade power. You just gotta get some lift in the swing. Give me those type of dudes all day long.
Right. Dick Fitz looks like he's still cruising along, the prospect we got from you guys. So it's all good. Like with those players, the ones who aren't going to be here for a while, great.
The ones who are here currently,
Yeah, it's like Valdez. I like his bat, his glove. Like you can't even put him in a corner outfield. He's just bad. It's that bad at defense. His bat's sick, but like we can't DH him because we've got Yoshido, who we banned from the field. Uh, but he's like his bat hasn't been going at all this year. Like he's just grounding to second every time up. It's very frustrating. So DH is now clogged to the point like Rafael is going to be your center fielder. At this point, if they, and obviously we're a long way away from that, if these three, Teal, Meyer, and Anthony, keep hitting like this, I don't see a reason. Maybe one or two of them come up September. But right now, you're talking about all of these guys potentially making the team next year. Like if they just tear up the minors this year, there's no sense in holding them down again, unless you're just doing contract manipulation.
And that's exactly why they will.
But why I don't think they will, at least to all of them, is you've already sold the fan base on these are the players. Like you can't. The Orioles didn't necessarily do that with Jackson Holiday. You know what I mean? They were just
Mm-hmm.
like he's one of many we have, and they've been calling everyone else up. So that's where.
Buddy, I'm so tired. I'm so tired of it. I feel like every fucking week you hear the Orioles are bringing up such and such. It's like, yo, when does it stop? Is there no finish line here? Like they got 88 in the top 100 prospect for God's sake. When does it stop, bro? Like they got so many dudes in the minor leagues who are currently blocked. It's like, bro,
Yeah.
like the Kerstad dude blocked. Kobe
Yep.
Mayo blocked. There's Connor Norby blocked. That's three like top 100 prospects just blocked. No room for them at the moment, and it's really frustrating.
And was it Paseo is the highest ranked, I think, out of all of
Bro, I
them, and
didn't
he's
even. I didn't.
nineteen.
To show you what we're talking. I forgot about the best of them. To show you what we're talking. But to me, he's the best of them. Like he. I'm not gonna say
He's
he's
the highest
blocked, but
ceiling for sure.
right. Like I'm not gonna say he's blocked, but bro, like he's currently a catcher. Currently, he's probably gonna be a first baseman in the pros. And I mean, there's a spot there, but he's kind of far away. So well, farish
Yeah,
away. But yeah, they got so many people blocked. I'm tired of the Orioles. Their system is an embarrassment of riches. Sick of them. Wish they'd go
yeah.
away.
Paseo's their number two, but Holiday's the one.
Yeah,
They've got Enrique Bradfield, who they just got out of Vanderbilt. He's going to steal 1,000 bases when he finally comes up. Dylan Beavers was a massive college bat. Was
bro.
he
We don't
Oregon
even talk about Dylan
State?
Beavers. There's another one. Poorbath,
Cal.
Mac
He went to
Poorbath,
Cal. Yep.
and these guys are guys we don't speak about with the Orioles, and it's like they'd be number one or two in a lot of other systems. A lot of them.
They're number 12. And again, this is the national rankings, which I put less stock in, but they're not super off either. It's more once they get out of the top 10 where I think they
Mm-hmm. They just be
aren't as
guessing,
great.
bro.
But their
Yep.
number 12 is Judd Fabian, who the Red Sox took in the second round and just didn't sign. So we got that pick back. But that's someone, obviously, a team in their division viewed as a second round pick as well, coming out of Florida. And that's their number 12. You know what I mean? Like, this is,
It's an embarrassment of riches.
yeah. And you got to give them credit. Gunnar Henderson, they got in the same draft as Adley Rutschman. You know what I mean? It's easy in baseball to fuck up that 1-1, let alone the second round pick. To get both, that's how you make this deep of a system. You know what I mean? And then it's all like, who's the fucking asshole they have right now hitting or O'Hearn? Like when Ryan O'Hearn's hitting a home run a night,
Dude,
and last year it was Santander and fucking you got why am I blanking on their center fielder? You got Cedric Mullins making absurd Superman catches in center field.
bro, that catch was outrageous. But like O'Hearn, if and yeah, small sample size theory, yada yada yada. But like you look at his savant page and it's like, oh, so this is he's just Max Muncy now. That's what it looks like. He just mashes the fucking cover off the baseball, doesn't swing a shit off the plate. I'm just like, oh, how are we supposed to deal with this? Like, it just everybody collectively, everybody in the AL East, everybody who has aspirations of being the Orioles long term. How do we deal with this if that continues? Maybe it falls off the face of the planet again. It's April 17th, but if he's just gonna be the latest, there's I feel like there's a late career renaissance of some random power hitter on the team every year, like
Oh yeah,
going
it was
back to like
Trumbo
Max
for a
Muncy,
while. Yeah.
Mark Trumbo, and you have like Luke Voigt was that for a couple of years. Just random like mid to late career breakout power hitters who then all of a sudden just turn out to be 70 grade power elite plate discipline guys out of fucking nowhere. Maybe that's just him this year. And buddy, that the thought of that annoys me. So I just hope that he's not this.
Well,
Please. We
that's
need that.
like when I saw Miguel Sano popped up with the Angels, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, could that be him? And right now he's sitting at a 104 OPS plus. Obviously not like something to write home about, but this is someone who didn't play baseball. I'm not talking he was buried in the minors, like was straight up out of baseball last year. Um, like those are guys. Like he's 31. Those are the type of guys. Who was Buddy for Cleveland? Who ended up going to the Cubs? He was just massive. I want to call him Framber, but I know it wasn't
From
Framber.
Reyes.
Yeah, Franmil. That's what. Yeah,
Mm,
Franmil Reyes. Like
yeah,
guys like that, I would give a million chances to because when they
agreed.
hit, they're as good as anyone in baseball. Like it's
Agreed.
it's absurd
Agreed.
how horrifying
100%.
that kind of power is, and it's kind. It's. I mean, I know you don't like talking about him. It's why Andujar keeps getting chances. He showed it for a little bit. You know what I mean? He showed
He
it
did.
for long enough where people are going to keep trying to see does that exist.
I hope it works out for him at some point.
You don't.
Uh, I don't dislike the man. He's just not a good player. It is what it is.
No,
He's
but
not my problem anymore.
his batting 18. We're talking about a 130 OPS plus over 149 games. Like that's not necessarily a flash in the pan. You know what I mean?
I would like to take the time to once again laugh at the people who thought he should have won Rookie of the Year that year. I'd like to take a time to laugh at those people.
Was that Otani?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they were dead serious. Like, it was a raging argument for years. Like, oh, well, Otani didn't show up to work all the time. Was he better than Miguel Andujar? How could he have been better? He didn't show. Did he play baseball better than Shohei Ohtani? It's a yes or no question. No, but ain't no but. Ain't no but. If he didn't play better, he's not the Rookie of the fucking year. This does not have to be complicated.
45 less games for Otani, 5 less home runs, which is very funny. 80 less hits. Otani swiped 10 bags that year. That's very funny. More walks for Otani. Otani had 925 OPS to Andujar's 855. I'm still looking into this OPS thing because it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make any sense. All of Andujar's numbers are higher. I understand it was in more games, so that for sure is a factor, but still, something is amiss.
Damn, we went from that to he's just quadruple A fodder. Baseball can be so sad sometimes.
I mean, again, this is someone who was solid for Pittsburgh last year.
What, in like
Only
8 games?
no, he played 30. He played a month, and he put up a 110 OPS plus. You know what I mean? That's how you end up in the athletics, drowning some of their top prospects from seeing the fields because they're like, let's see if this guy can do it again.
Let's see if he
Eight
still
years
got it.
later, yeah, six
Let's see
years
if he
later,
still
let's see
got
if
it
he's
six,
got it.
7 years later. Yeah. It's tough. Tough seed.
He's on the he's on the right side of 30. What were his projections this year? My favorite. Oh, they don't even have projections for him. That's fucked up. Played a full spring training. He had 1100 OPS in spring training. Oh man, he was about to win MVP.
Is that is that like the that he was about to buy NBC equivalent?
Basically, I also didn't realize. I'm looking at his picture right now and pull him up. Go to Baseball Reference and pull him up just so you can tell me if I beat the racism allegations or not. Uh, because I've never looked at his picture. I've only seen him on the field.
Mhm.
Does he or does he not look like Dominican Rudy Gobert?
I could see it. A
Yeah,
little
it's
bit
there. I'm
darker.
not saying it's like
I could see it.
doppelganger, but it's there's something there.
I can see it. He a little bit darker, but I can see it.
Right. Oh, that's where the Dominican comes into play.
A little bit darker.
He's got a very
Yeah.
zesty eyebrow going on. That's where it's like there's a dash of French in there.
Didn't think we were gonna get a zesty word drop in this show
Me
today. And I
neither.
love it.
But we get to Miguel Enrique Andujar's page, and these are the things that pop up. I really need I think the Red Sox are just going to be a state of 500 all year. I don't know if they're ever going to go on some crazy run. Maybe Von Grissom brings some immaculate vibes with him when he gets called up. Not necessarily what I'm backing on. I just want to see him. That's all I'm watching the rest of the year. Who are the guys who are going to be here long term? Because I really can't care. Like I see so many people getting riled up over people who aren't part of the plan fucking up. It's like, yeah, that doesn't bother me. Is Rafaela going to chase every single pitch? Seems like yes. So like how are we going to
Yeah.
fix that moving forward? Abreu, is he going to be serious or not? Undecided. We don't know that answer yet.
Just don't hit the ball
Uh,
on the ground to him.
Yeah,
Just
Duran, is he going to be
somehow.
wearing fatigues next year? Maybe. We don't know. We just don't know. Casas is Casas. Just have him stop trying to swipe third. He's not
He
get
ain't that
that
guy.
worked out of his game. He's perfect again.
He ain't that guy. You can't have him
No,
swiping third. Uh, Duran. I just want I want the best for him. I just want him to be the best man he can be.
and then the Yankees. I don't know how much longer are you guys going to hold on to first, because it seems like you really want the Orioles to
Probably
have
fucking 2 days at this rate, right?
it.
Like I mean, the Orioles are what, half a game behind them, or 1.5
Yes,
game, whatever it is. Yeah,
just
it's
half. Yeah,
probably a day, probably 2 days, maybe. Listen, the thing with the Yankees right now is they're hitting into a lot of bad luck, but it's kind of offset by the fact that they've had some dink ass hits, some dink ass ground ball hits down the line and shit. Like, so I guess it's kind of balancing itself. The pitching staff has been good.
how's Rodon look?
Rodon's kind of complicated because like his stuff looks the way his stuff should look, but he's not getting whiffs, which is really confusing to me. I have no idea what that's about. Like last night was a good example. Like his stuff looked great, and now not to whine about the umpires, I'm not going to make this about them, but they did royally fuck him on two different batters. But that's neither here nor there. But like Toronto was fouling off a lot of pitches. Like he ended up, I want to say, I don't think he made it through four, but he threw 100 pitches to kind of show you what we're
Okay,
talking about. Like they were fouling off a lot of fucking pitches. In general, like he's kind of done the whole standing on his head routine where he's putting runners on base and he's fucking Houdiniing his way out of shit left and right, and that's, as we know, is not a sustainable business model because eventually the house is going to fall down. So I think his stuff has been fine. I come out of his first whatever 3-4 starts more confident in him than I came it was entering the season. So I think he's going to be good. But in general, like the pitching staff is kind of lacking put away stuff right now,
sure.
which is not really like them. So I don't know if that's a blip. I don't know if that's a sign of things to come. It's not the largest sample, obviously. So we're gonna see where we go with that. But how long we're gonna keep first? I mean, how long are they gonna keep first out? We'll see.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, the lineup, they're impacting the baseball hard. They're near the top of the list in every the average exit velo, hard hit rate, this that and the third. Um, I mean, Verdugo's existence irks me to my core. He's not going anywhere. He's there. Just have to live with him. Oswaldo's still doing really fucking well. Like I think his start is about as real as a $3 bill. So I'm not exactly uh, I'm not exactly buying stock in him, but as long as he's going to keep doing this, great.
What I
DJ
will
LeMahieu's
say,
coming back. Go ahead.
what I will say for Oswaldo, when the Red Sox got JD Martinez, everyone else just kind of got better because of his presence. And it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
just like he showed up and everyone's like, let's do that. He genuinely
Yes.
was showing people like how he prepares and how he was breaking down film and utilizing that to his advantage. And every time I've seen Soto in the dugout, Oswaldo seems to be near, like asking him questions. And it could be a very much like Michael Jordan telling Kwame Brown, like, just put the ball in the hoop. Like, I don't know how, like, JD's a very talented hitter, but he had to struggle a lot to
He
become a
did.
very talented hitter.
He
Juan
sure did.
Soto's been a generational
He's a
hitter since the
prodigy.
day he was
Yeah.
born. So that's where
Mm-hmm.
it's like, I don't know if he is a good teacher, but if I were talking myself into believing in Oswaldo and and some of that just being because of he happens to now get to talk to Juan Soto, maybe there is something there. It's too early to tell one way or the other, but the early returns say there might be something there.
He's mentioned that several times, and one of my favorite parts of the season so far is just how Oswaldo looks at Juan Soto with the dugout. It's really funny. He looks at him like he's in love with him. It's amazing to
I
watch
get it.
unfold. And to be frank, that's how I look at him when he's hitting. So
Sure.
I can relate. Um,
I mean,
yeah. Go ahead.
when Ortiz was at the peak of his powers, there was nothing I enjoyed as much as the home run derby. Whether or not he was participating, it was like he was the president of the planet. When he walked on that field,
That's true.
every other Dominican player was like, there he is. That's who we all aspire to be. Like that's Soto has that similar juice. Like that, it is what
He
it is.
does.
He's the one right now.
He does. People love him. Like I'm talking about on the team and off the team. People love that guy. They
Yeah,
love
he's
him.
been a Yankee long enough.
Um, I mean, well, he's going to be a Yankee for a really long time.
We'll
So
see. Have people started getting angry at him not hitting home runs yet?
shockingly, no. But as I said on the show, like I thought a lot of the stuff about how well how are the fans going to receive him stuff. I thought a lot of it was overblown
Sure.
because Soto is the rare guy that everybody can agree on in Yankee land because he has something for everybody. Like if you like
Right.
power, he's going to get you 30 home runs a year, roughly somewhere in that neighborhood. If you like contact skills, he'll get you a lot of that. He strikes out very infrequently. You like
Right.
plate discipline, he's going to give you that. Everybody can agree. This is not Giancarlo Stanton. Whereas like half the
No.
fan base is like, oh, he strikes out 25% of the time. What are we doing here? And then the other half's like, well, bro, he hits fucking missiles. Have you seen him? You know what I mean? So it's just Juan was never gonna be that guy. Even though Salicata said the stupidest shit I've ever heard, and I know I shouldn't even be giving him time because that that's the bane of my existence, giving people like that actual time and energy. But it was first and second. I want to say 2 outs in the ninth inning a week ago. They were playing the Marlins. They were down 5-2. What was it? Five? Yeah, it was 5-2. And Soto drew a walk, which he's one to do. Drew a walk
Mm-mm.
to set it up for Aaron Judge, right? He's like, oh well, why is he looking to draw a walk in that spot? You wanted him to swing at bullshit. Like all four balls, none of them were close. There was one pitch that was close, and it was painted 98 on the inside corner. So like, I don't. You just wanted him to go up there and try and be a hero. Listen, if Aaron Judge got hurt and you're running out like Jahmai Jones in the outfield, and you want to tell Juan, so listen, I don't need you taking the wall. I don't give a fuck where the pitches are. Okay, fine. That's a
Right.
whole separate argument. You got the best power hitter in the sport hitting behind you. Pass the baton. If you're gonna do something, great. If he doesn't, hey, you had a shot. You had a legitimate shot to win the game. Unfortunately, Judge flew out to center field. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah. No,
stupid.
not clutch. Um, I was gonna say, oh, do you want to say anything about Sterling retiring before we get out of here?
Oh, of course, I have a few minutes to talk about John. Listen, I was taking a nice walk around the neighborhood when I got a call from my homie, and he's like, "Did you hear the news?" First of all, I hate calls that start that way. Hate them, hate them. Because the thing is, the "Did you hear the news?" is never like unless it's like the greatest of news or the most awful of news. There's never a clear tone. So I'm just gonna automatically think the worst. I'm not a pessimistic person by nature. I'm just not. But when you call me, you say, "Did you hear the news?" I'm bracing for the worst. That's just how it goes. So
Sure.
I know people are not gonna just call and be like and just start off with the news. I get that. But it's a pet peeve. Either way, you hear the news. Da, da, da. I'm like, no. He's like, oh, John Sterling's retiring. I'm like, what do you mean effective immediately? What do you mean retired? He's like, yeah, he's done. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Is his health? Is his health straight? He's like, he hasn't heard, whatever. Either way, I hang up with him. And then I realized something along the way. I didn't realize that I was going to take it, I was going to be in my feelings about John Sterling retiring until it happened. And I'm just like, and then I'm like to myself, well, think about it. I'm a 36-year-old Yankee fan. All I've known is John Sterling, right?
Right.
And to go deeper than that, I've heard John Sterling's voice more than damn near anybody. Like besides my mother. Like John Sterling is up there with every like I've heard his voice so many times. I would purposefully turn on the Scott Brosius home run in game 4, for game 5. Whichever game of the world, game 5 I think it was. I turned on the radio specifically in case it happened again. Because obviously it happened the night before with Tino. I turned on the radio, the Walkman. Yes, I'm dating myself. I don't care. The Walkman. Turned it on. Like, all right, if they do this again, like I want to hear what John Sterling got to say about it. Happened again. He hit the how Michael says, "Do you believe in miracles?" 55,000 Yankee fans say, "Yeah." Iconic call. But listen, John Sterling held me down many a day. I'm outside, can't get to a TV for whatever the reason. John Sterling was there. Now came with some pitfalls. John Sterling would tell you that shit was high, it was far, it was caught at least like 5 times a year, and it would make you, it would crush you. But he brought a passion to the game that was unmatched. he obviously loves his job, loves the Yankees, and it showed in his work every day for 30 years, whatever it was, 30, 35 years, however many years he did it for. And I mean, congrats to him on a great career. And he has a voice made for radio, man. Like his voice is just made for it. But also,
especially
I
Yankees radio.
yes, and I'd be remiss if I didn't point out, ironically, one of my favorite John Sterling calls was the Giancarlo Stanton one
So
in
funny,
Fenway. Listen,
unbelievable.
bro, he says it is high, it is far, it is out of the park, and then you just see the ball being whipped back into the infield, and then he's like, "What did I do wrong?"
Yeah,
Bro, that shit kills me every time, bro. It is
he was
high,
waiting
it's
for
far.
someone to tell him like, no, the ball was hit so far it traveled the circumference of the globe and was deposited back into the ballpark. You were right, John. You nailed it. Great call.
Johnny
Unbelievable
Carlos
call.
taking his fucking, he's taking his gloves off whoever the fucking first base, and John was like, "Yo, what did I see wrong?" And
Yeah.
it
He's
is
like,
so funny, man.
this young man knows he's supposed to keep running, right? Like
Like,
what
why
is
is
this
why
bozo?
is he
A
stopping at
leisurely jog at
like why
least,
is
and
he
then you
stopping
touch.
at first base, high fiving the first base coach? This is not how home runs work. Does he not know how home runs? I know he knows. He's hit a bunch of them.
Yeah, seeing the video of him too, like, because he closes his eyes, like he's just like, I gotta go
He's
into my
so
home
into
run
it.
call
Yes.
mode. Like he goes like full Stevie Wonder, and he's like whipping his head around, and then he comes to like on the broadcast, we're watching the replay at this point, and he's still like, now someone fill me in. He's doing this like solo Brian, or he's got Susan there, right? It's like him and
Yes.
Susan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's like, yeah, well, what could have possibly happened? Where
And I
the
can't
bird hit
imagine
it.
the
Like,
fact that Giancarlo was the one who hit it helps. Because
well,
When Giancarlo hits a home run, you know exactly what the fuck it sounds like. And it
not
sounded
only
like it.
that,
Yeah.
the previous 2 weeks, the Red Sox and Yankees had played what felt like 15 games,
Oh, they
and
played a
Stanton hit
ton.
maybe 30 home runs over that. Like he just
Yes.
kept hitting home runs. So
Yeah.
that he was set up to fail there. I don't like it's very funny and it was made for a perfect call. Especially since no runs scored and they lost the game. But the fact that there was just this walk-off single, like he called it like the World Series had been won, which is perfect. And it's why, like, I obviously I didn't grow up with Sterling. I don't give a fuck one way or the other. However, what I do love about him is he was a Yankee fan. And so
Yes.
you knew he cared.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what I'll say about like Tommy Heinsohn. He not only was a Celtic fan, he was a coach and a player for the team. He was more of the Celtics than the fucking mascot that Kyrie stepped on. Like that's why we all gravitated when League Pass became a thing and it was like, oh, how can Celtics fans listen to this? How do you not listen to this? This is the best it will ever be because they care. They care as much as we should care at home. I don't give a fuck about non-bias on a local call. Like,
I
yeah, be
sure fucking
biased.
do.
Be
There
as
isn't many things
biased as
I
I
care less
am.
about. There aren't many things I care less about than being biased when you're the radio guy for insert team here.
Yeah,
Let the bias show. Like you have to work with these people every day. You're part of the team. Why wouldn't you want them to win?
big time. And I remember Eckersley and like David Price hated Dennis Eckersley because he was calling it like very fair. And like Eckersley was like getting on the pitchers, and it's like, yeah, I'm a former Cy Young winner who also played here. Like I feel like I can actually say when guys are fucking up and when guys are doing well. And that it was just such an interesting dynamic when you do have people who care versus just a guy who's clearly just doing a job. Why would they care as much? They got Buddy out in Seattle. I can't remember his name, but when they clinched last year, he was going crazy. That's what you want.
That's what
That's
it's all
what
about.
every fan base deserves that. So that's where it's like, again, I'm not someone who grew up on Sterling or had all the experiences you had, but every fan base deserves that person, especially for baseball. Every fan base.
John was one of us in the truest sense of the term. Like he grew up a Yankee fan. All he wanted to do was what he ended up doing, which I love those stories.
Right.
All he wanted as a kid was to be a broadcaster for the Yankees. He got to live that dream out, and he treated every game like it was his last.
Right.
Like he treated every game like, hey man, I don't know if I'm gonna do the next one tomorrow. That's how he treated every game, and it was a treat to watch.
He had some
For
crazy streak too, right? Where he didn't miss like 14,000
I want to
games in a
say,
row or
yeah, I
something
want to
like
say,
that.
I don't remember what the streak was, but it was. It was a
Absurd.
number of years. It was an absurd streak. It was a number of
Yeah.
years where he didn't miss a single game. Yeah, it
He's like, I've missed every moment of my family's lives. I don't give a
like, bro, I haven't had dinner with my family since, well, ever. I haven't had dinner with my family ever, basically. I've missed all of them dinners, bro.
So yeah, hats off to a legend. Hopefully, I
Yes.
don't know if they have a replacement lined up. It felt very sudden. So I
That
don't
was
know.
that was part of what hit me in the feels. The fact that it just was, we didn't get a like, all right, if this had happened in February, it probably wouldn't be the same field. All right,
Sure.
he's retiring. Like, we'll get the year, or we'll get however many games he does. Like, he does a couple radio games, whatever, during spring, and then he retires. It's just the abruptness of it sucks. But
Yeah,
I wish him the best in retirement.
for sure. And we'll end on that note. It definitely won't get more pleasant than that. So we'll see everybody next week when the Orioles have reclaimed first place.